Hi, I'm Martin from Radic Plastic, and I want to show you how we've made a clamping system for moulds so you can keep your hands and get a good clamping force. So that's how the system works. I can use my hands, I'm using a foot to clamp my mould, I can inject and I can release it away. As simple as that. So this idea is so that you can use heavy moulds, different size moulds, clamp them really well, and have both hands available for injecting and moving and whatnot. So this is different to methods that have, if you're familiar with plastic preneur machines, that have a clamping bed that move up, or if you use a screw type nozzle where your moulds screw into the nozzle for the injector and you're spinning the whole mould, or other ideas I've seen where they use a car jack when you're clamping it up. So all of those are generally a bit slower, are using your hands, whereas this one gives you a little bit more speed, which for those that are trying to get good kind of production times and prices on injection moulding, you'll learn that every second counts. So to show you how this works, we've basically upcycled a motorcycle stand. So this is one that we've got secondhand from a local person who just was selling it on a marketplace. But this is what they look like out of the box. So you have 4 components. They fit together super easily. You have a handle. And then this gives you just that amount of travel that you need to clamp the mould against your nozzle. So out of the box, like, these could work as they are. And what we've done is we've just built a wooden frame to make it taller. So obviously this is on the floor. We've got a wall mounted machine, but this level might be suitable if you've got a floor standing injection moulder already and you could use it. We found that having the levers when they come, like, that's quite high for my leg to raise up, whereas this one I'm really using a little bit. And if we're producing hundreds of products a day, I want something that's really ergonomic. So at first we had, our first idea was you had this kind of almost pedal that pivoted and it was attached to here, so you just stood on the pedal and it raised up. But we found this wasn't rigid enough. And then I realised that we could just flip the existing component that comes with it around, and that creates it low enough, but it still gives you 9 centimetres of travel, which is enough for that clamping and getting your mould underneath and whatnot. And there are loads of different ways you could do this. Modifications of different ways of creating this, but this is just to raise the height up. And if we want to transition, so obviously this mould is quite tall, works really nicely. If I want to do something flatter, obviously I haven't got enough travel, you could simply use just wooden blocks and raise it up until you can reach the mould where you can clamp it well enough. And the advantage I like is that I can feel the clamping pressure through my leg, I can feel the injection pressure through my arms, and I can just feel how the plastic's interacting inside the mould, which gives me kind of a more perfect fill. I can feel whether it might be flashing, for example, or whether it's not full enough. So I really like kind of the 3 points of connection with the machine and the plastic. And again, there's neater ways of perhaps doing this instead of wooden blocks. And firstly, having them all the same size would be nice. But other ideas, such as you could put the car jack idea onto this, so I could have it kind of low down for tall moulds, but you could raise it up higher. So if you're doing thin moulds for a day, you could then raise it a different day, and then you still have that extra bit of travel. So kind of using them in combination. So I mentioned that this kind of method is advantageous for heavy moulds. So if you want 2 hands to be able to hold it, and if you've got that spring system, it's putting quite a lot of force to try and get it up, you need quite a lot of strength. And using your leg, you obviously have a lot more strength in your leg, so you don't have to worry too much about weight. So this enables new sort of ideas where, rather than a mould which you might bolt up to clamp and push up against your injector, you might have a mould and you could put on something like a big vise, clamp the mould in the vise, and because you don't have to worry about weight anymore, you can move that whole clamping system up. So it becomes a bit more revolutionary on the clamping systems that we can use, because as people that know, if they're doing a lot of injecting all day and doing and undoing bolts all day, it gets quite tiring, and again, it affects the times that you have to use for your day of injecting. So hopefully it can speed things up, make things a lot less strenuous on the body. I feel it gets you a bit more in touch with the plastic and how it feels in the mould, and yeah, just makes general running an injection moulder a lot smoother.